Good morning, students. I am Sunil Kumar, PGT Accountancy in Cambridge International School, Dasur. Hope you all are studying hard at back home and enjoying the e-learning initiative of Cambridge International School, Dasur. Dear students, today we are going to do chapter number 5, Admission of a New Partner. Dear students, here a question arises why we need to admit a new partner. The answer to this question is very simple. Sometimes a firm requires additional capital, or a firm is lacking in managerial ability, or one can say that both the capital and managerial ability is more required in the firm for its expansion. That is why a new partner is admitted into a firm. According to Section 31 of the Indian Partnership Act 1932, whenever a new partner enters into the firm, he may acquire two rights in the firm. The right number one is he is going to share the assets of the partnership firm. Now, what are assets? Assets like land, building, plant, machinery, cash, bank balance, etc. are the assets of the business. So, the new partner is going to enjoy the share in the assets of the partnership firm. And the second right the partner is going to enjoy is the share in the profit of the partnership firm. Whatever the profit the firm is going to earn in future, new partner is going to get his share in the profit. But for acquiring these two rights, he has to bring certain amount of capital in the business, which is required by the firm. That is why he was admitted in the firm. Number two, he has to bring some extra amount, which is called premium for goodwill. Why this extra amount is required to bring by the incoming partner? Because whenever the new partner is admitted in the firm, the old partners are going to lose their share in the profit. So to compensate the old partners, new partner has to bring premium for goodwill to compensate the old partners. In this chapter, we are going to do 5 major topics. These are as follow. Number 1, calculation of new profit sharing ratio and the sacrificing ratio. Number 2, valuation of goodwill and adjustment of goodwill. Number 3, distribution of accumulated profits, reserves, surplus, etc. Number 4, revaluation of assets and reassessment of liabilities. Number 5, adjustment of partners' capital. Dear students, let's start practical problem here. Question number 1. X and Y are partners sharing profits in the ratio 5:3. Z is admitted for 1/4 share in profit. Calculate new profit sharing ratio of the partners. Here we solve this question in this way. First we have to write old profit sharing ratio of the old partners, that is 5:3. The old partners are X and Y. The old profit sharing ratio is 5:3. Now we can write 5:3 as 5/8 and 3/8. In ratios we have to write in fractions. In this type of question, which is of a particular type of question, when new partner is admitted for a particular share, here the new partner is admitted for 1/4 share, which is a particular share. And whenever the profit sharing share of the new partner is given in fractions, we have to assume that the total profit of the firm is 1. So here we have let the total profit of the firm is 1. Z's share is 1/4. So the remaining part of the share, that is 1 minus 1 by 4 is 3 by 4, which is left for the remaining partner, that is X and Y. So here we can calculate new profit sharing ratio as follow. X, whose old profit sharing ratio was 5 upon 8 into 3 upon 4 is the remaining share after giving 1/4 to the Z. On calculating this, we will get 15 upon 32 new profit ratio of X. In the same way, we will calculate Y's share, that is 3 upon 8 into 3 upon 4, which is the remaining share after deducting 1/4 from 1, gives 9 upon 32 is the new share of Y. In the same way, Z was admitted for 1/4 share. But in ratios, we have to equalize the denominators. Here the Z share is only 1/4 is given. Nothing is mentioned about from where he has got this 1/4. But in ratios, when we have to equalize the denominators, we have to multiply 1/4 with a digit which makes the denominator of 1/4 32. Now, so we are going to multiply 1/4 by 4 upon 4, which gives you the Z's new share, that is 4 upon 32. Here the new profit sharing ratio of X, Y and Z is 15:9:4. This completes our first question. Now the second type of question in which the word from is used. Now question is, A and B are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 7:5. They admit C as a new partner who acquires 1/12 share from A and 1/6 from B as a share. Calculate new profit sharing ratio and sacrificing ratio. Now we can solve this question in the same way, like old profit sharing ratio of A and B is 7:5. Now 7:5 can be written as 7 upon 12 and 5 upon 12. Here C acquires means he takes his share 1/12 from A and 1/6 from B. When the word from is written, you have to directly minus 1/12 from the share of A and 1/6 from the share of B. New profit sharing ratio is A equals to 7 upon 12 minus 1 upon 12, which is given. Now the A's new share is 6 upon 12. B's new profit sharing ratio is 5 upon 12 minus 1 upon 6. Now see, here the denominators are not same. 5 upon 12 and 1 upon 6 denominator, first denominator is 12, another is 6. So first we have to equalize the denominator, make it same by LCM. We have to take LCM here. LCM of 12 and 6 is 12. Now 5 minus 2 is like when we have to make 6 12, we have to multiply 6 by 2. In the same way, 1 is also multiplied by 2. So 5 minus 2 gives you 3 upon 12. This is the new ratio of B. C's new ratio is 1 upon 12. He has taken 1 by 12 from A and 1 by 6 from B. We will add both the shares. Again the LCM, you have to calculate the LCM. This will give you 3 upon 12. So the new profit sharing ratio among A, B and C is 6 is to 3 is to 3. Or we can write it 6 is to 1 is 2 is to 1 is to 1. Now second step, we have to calculate sacrificing ratio. Sacrificing ratio equals to sacrificing ratio's formula is old ratio minus new ratio. Now old ratio of A is 7 upon 12. New ratio is 6 upon 12. So the answer is 1 upon 12. A has sacrificed 1 by 12. B's ratio, old ratio is 5 upon 12 minus 3 by 12 is the new ratio, which gives 2 upon 12. Therefore, the sacrificing ratio of A and B is 1 is to 2. This is the second type of question in which from word is used. We have to directly minus the share acquired from the old partners. This will give you the right answer. Now, the third type of the question is the word of is used in these types of questions. Here the question is, A and B are partners in a firm sharing profits in the ratio of 5:3. A surrenders 1/20th of his share. See, A surrenders 1/20th of his share, whereas B surrenders 1/24th of his share in favor of C, a new partner. Calculate new profit sharing ratio and sacrificing ratio. Again, we are going to solve this question. We have to write old profit sharing ratio of the partners first. A and B's old ratio is 5:3, which we can write 5/8 and 3/8. In these type of questions where off word is used, this question is solved in two steps. First, we have to find out the surrender value of each partner. Now, A surrender in favor of C is 1/20th into his share, that is 5/8. A gives his share, of mean multiply, so first we have to multiply 1/20 into 5/8, which gives us 1/32. Whereas B surrenders in favor of C 1/24th of his share, which is 3/8, gives us 1/64. Mean A surrenders his share 1/32 and B surrenders his share 1/64 in favor of C. Now, calculation of new profit sharing ratio. A old share is 5/8. His minus his surrender value, that is 1/32, gives, we have to first calculate the LCM, which is 32. After calculating the LCM, which is 32, we have to deduct 20 minus 1, which gives us 19/32. This is A's new share. Now B's new share is 3/8 minus 1/64. Again, we have to take LCM of 8 and 64, which is 64. Now 24 minus 1 gives 23/64. C's new share is 1/32, which he got from A, and 1/64, which B surrenders in favor of C. Equals to, here also we have to calculate the denominators, make it same by taking LCM of 32 and 64. The LCM of 32 and 64 is 64. Now 2 plus 1 equals to 3/64 is the new profit sharing ratio of C. So the new profit sharing ratio of A, B and C is 9/32, 23/64 and 3/64. Again, see, we cannot take it as a ratio because the denominators of the digits are not same. So first we have to equalize the denominator by taking the LCM of 32, 64 and 64, which is 64. Now the new profit sharing ratio is 38/64 is to 23/64 is to 3/64. So we can write it 38:23:3 is the new profit sharing ratio of A, B and C. In second step, we have to calculate sacrificing ratio. The formula of sacrificing ratio is old ratio minus new ratio. Now A's sacrifice is 5/8, which is old ratio, minus new, that is 38/64. Again, we have to calculate the LCM. LCM of 8 and 64 is 64, which gives 40 minus 38 equals to 2/64 is the sacrifice value of A. In the same way, we have to calculate sacrifice ratio of B. B's old ratio is 3/8 minus 23/64. Again, we have to calculate the denominator by taking LCMs. The LCM of 8 and 64 is 64. So 24 minus 23 gives 1/64. The sacrificing ratio of A and B is 2:1. This is off type of questions in which we have to follow two steps. In first, we have to multiply the digits, and in second step we have to deduct the digits, and we will reach on the right answer. Accounting treatment of goodwill. According to Accounting Standard 26, which deals with intangible assets, goodwill should be recognized in the books only when consideration in money or money's worth has been paid for it. Thus, in case of reconstitution of a firm, goodwill is not recognized in the books because consideration in money or money's worth is not paid for it. It should be adjusted through partners' capital accounts, and if goodwill is recognized, that is raised, it should be written off immediately. It means in partnership, we do not purchase goodwill, so we cannot write goodwill in the books of accounts. Because we are not purchasing any business, so we are not purchasing any goodwill. So goodwill cannot be recorded in the books in partnership. If any time it is raised, it should be written off immediately. Accounting treatment of goodwill at the time of admission of a partner. There can be following 5 situations relating to the accounting treatment of goodwill at the time of admission of a partner. Number 1, goodwill, that is premium for goodwill is paid privately. Number 2, goodwill is brought in cash or by check by the new or incoming partner and is retained in the business. Number 3, goodwill is brought in cash or by check by the new partner or incoming partner and is withdrawn by sacrificing partner fully or partly. Number 4, goodwill is brought in kind. Number 5, when the new partner does not bring his share of goodwill in cash. So these are the 5 situations of goodwill and accounting treatment of goodwill at the time of admission of a partner. Now, accounting treatment of goodwill. Number 1 case, goodwill is paid privately. When goodwill or premium for goodwill is paid privately or outside the business by the new or incoming partner to the sacrificing partners, journal entry is not passed in the books of accounts. As we all know that accounts are prepared for the business, not for the partner. So whenever there is any transaction which is done privately or done directly with the partner, it is not recorded in the books of accounts. So here the goodwill is paid privately, so the journal entry will be not passed in the books of accounts. Case number 2 is goodwill or premium for goodwill is brought in cash or by check by the new or incoming partner and is retained in the business. So here we have 2 cases when number 1, the premium for goodwill brought in cash or by check by the new partner. So the journal entry is cash or bank account debit to premium for goodwill account. Cash, because cash is coming, so it is debited, increase in cash. To premium for goodwill is the amount brought in by incoming partner, which is a liability for him. So premium for goodwill by with the share of goodwill. Second, if partner has brought capital in cash, then the journal entry is cash account or bank account debit to new partner's capital account with the amount of capital. Third is for sharing of goodwill by sacrificing partner. Whatever the premium amount has brought in by the incoming partner, it is for the compensation to the sacrificing partner. So the journal entry is premium for goodwill account debit to sacrificing partner's capital or current account. That is current when the capitals are fixed, otherwise it is written as sacrificing partner's capital account. Premium is the amount with share of goodwill and sacrificing ratio in sacrificing partner's capital account in sacrificing ratio. 3. Goodwill or premium for goodwill is brought in cash or by check by the new partner or incoming partner and is withdrawn by the sacrificing partner fully or partly. In this situation, first entry will be same for premium for goodwill brought in cash or by check by the new partner. The journal entry is cash account debit to premium for goodwill account. The amount is with the share of goodwill. Second one is sharing of goodwill by sacrificing partner. So whatever the premium incoming partner brings in the firm that is distributed among the sacrificing partners. So the journal entry is premium for goodwill account debit to sacrificing partners capital or current account. Current in case of capitals are fixed with the share of goodwill, and this is in sacrificing ratio. Number 3 is for withdrawal of premium amount fully or partly. Now the firm is not returning the goodwill in the firm, so sacrificing partners are withdrawing the amount of premium for goodwill which is credited to their account. Here the journal entry for it is sacrificing partners capital or current account debit to cash or bank account. Now this entry is for the withdrawal. Sacrificing partner has taken their money out of the business. Fourth case is when existing goodwill is written off. Sometimes what happens, the goodwill is already appearing in the books. In that situation, firm writes off that goodwill which is already appearing in the books. So the journal entry for this is old partners capital or current account debit to goodwill account. This should be in old profit sharing ratio. Narration is being existing goodwill is written off in old profit sharing ratio. Fifth case is goodwill or premium for goodwill is brought in kind. New partner may bring assets valued at amount equal to his share of premium for goodwill. So the journal entry for it is assets account debit. Now he is bringing asset with in place of cash. Assets account debit to new partner's capital account. This is the capital amount of the goodwill of the partner to premium for goodwill account with the share of goodwill. So being assets brought in by new partner as a share of goodwill. Second entry is premium for goodwill account debit to sacrificing partners capital or current account in sacrificing ratio. The purpose of second entry is that whosoever is sacrificing his share of profit in favor of incoming partner, he will be getting some compensation from the incoming partner by the name of premium for goodwill. So in this way, this entry will definitely come with in every case. 6. When the new partner does not bring his share of goodwill. Now, if the new partner does not bring his share of goodwill, then the premium for goodwill is adjusted through current account of new partner. In that case, the journal entry is new partner's current account debit to sacrificing partner's capital or current account. Here the new partner's current account is for the goodwill amount and to sacrificing partner's capital current, and because sacrificing partner is going to get some benefit, that is why they are credited here. So being premium for goodwill credited to sacrificing partners in sacrificing ratio. Case number 7, when a part of goodwill is brought in cash. In that situation, for the amount brought in by new partner, the journal entry is cash or bank account debit. This amount is brought in cash to incoming partner's capital account. This is the amount of capital to premium for goodwill with the share of goodwill. This is a total amount of share of goodwill being the goodwill brought in cash. Second entry in this situation, premium for goodwill account with the premium for goodwill amount brought in, that is in cash, incoming partners current account with the unpaid amount of goodwill to sacrificing partners capital or current account in sacrificing ratio. In this situation, whatever amount you have brought in cash, that will be written in front of the premium for goodwill account, and the rest of the amount which is not paid in cash, and that is the part of the premium for goodwill, it should be written as incoming partners current account. We have to remember this. Here we are writing current account, not capital account. So to sacrificing partners capital account, it means sacrificing partners are going to get some compensation. So this is case number 7. Now the next topic is hidden or inferred goodwill. Sometimes it is not mentioned in the question about the goodwill's treatment. So in that situation, the goodwill is hidden goodwill. So let's see what it is. What is written here? Sometimes the value of goodwill of the firm is not given. it has to be inferred on the basis of net worth, that is capital of the firm. So let's try to understand with the help of an example. H and N were partners in a firm sharing profits in the ratio of 3 is to 2. Their capitals were rupees 1,60,000 and rupees 1 lakh respectively. They admit S as a new partner for one-fifth share in the future profits. S brought rupees 1,20,000 as his capital. Calculate the value of goodwill of the firm and record necessary journal entries for the above transaction on S admission. Solution: based on S share, the total capital of the new firm is, this is the capital of incoming partner, that is 1,20,000 into 1 by 5th share is his share, but it should be reciprocate to find out the total capital of the new firm. So we will write 5 upon 1, which is the share of new partner who was admitted for one-fifth share. Now he is a new partner, so we have to calculate new capital on the basis of his capital by reciprocating his share in profit. So his share was 1 upon 5. We will write here 5 upon 1. We have reciprocated it. Now 1,20,000 multiplied by 5, we will get 6 lakh. 6 lakhs is the total capital of the new firm when new partner is admitted. So less capital of H, N and S. So capital of H is 1,60,000, capital of N is 1 lakh and capital of S is 1,20,000. The total of 3's capital is 3,80,000. We will deduct this from 6 lakh, we will get 2,20,000. This is the value of goodwill of the firm. The difference is value of the goodwill of the firm. Now we have to find S share of goodwill, that is 2,20,000, which is the goodwill of the firm, into 1 by 5th. His share is 1 by 5th equals to 44,000. His is the capital of the new 44,000 is the goodwill of the new partner. So here are the journal entries for the hidden goodwill. Number one, here in this question, dates are not mentioned, so we are writing serial number 1, 2, 3, 4. So number one journal entry is bank account debit to S capital account. So S is bringing his share of capital in the firm as his new partner. So bank account debit to S capital account 1,20,000, 1,20,000 being the capital brought in by S. Second entry is X current account debit to X capital account and N's capital account. So we have calculated the share of X goodwill in the previous slide, that is 44,000, and this is 44,000 is divided into H and between H and N in their sacrificing ratio, which is 3 is to 2. So X's capital account is credited with 26,400 and N's capital account is credited with 17,600, being share of S in goodwill credited to H and N in their sacrificing ratio, which is 3 is to 2. The word inferred means included. So we have to remember that inferred word means included. So this hidden goodwill is included in the capitals of the partner, and we can say that it is the difference between new capitals of the firm and all adjusted capital of the firm. Next is accounting of reserves, accumulated profits or losses. For transfer of reserves and accumulated profits, reserves account debit, profit and loss account debit, this is credit balance of profit and loss account, it is profit. Workmen compensation reserve account debit, that is excess of reserve over claim if there any. Investment fluctuation reserve account debit, that is excess of reserves over book value of or market value of the investments. 2. All partners capital or current account, that is in old profit sharing ratio, being reserves are transferred to old partners capital account in old profit sharing ratio. Now at the time of reconstitution of the firm, whatever because now the firm is going to reconstitute, old partnership or old firm comes to an end and new firm is going to be coming into existence. So whatever we are left with, because all the reserves are created out of profit, and a profit is directly, it belongs to uh, owner of the business. So here the owner, who are the owners? Partners are the owners. So any reserves, if there are lying in the business, it will be distributed in all the partners in all profit sharing ratio, because after the day, or after few days, when the firm is reconstituted, new profit will be applicable, new profit sharing ratio will be applicable, and everything will be distributed in new profit sharing ratio. And nobody wants to give any benefit uh, to other partners, or to the gaining partner, because earlier he had done whatever he had done, he should get according to his work. So in this way, all the reserves, all the profits are distributed among old profit, or sorry, old partners in old profit sharing ratio. Now, if there are any accumulated losses, so it will also be distributed among the partners. So the journal entry would be all partners capital or current account, that is in old profit sharing ratio, all partners capital or current account debit to profit and loss account if there is a debit balance, to deferred revenue expenditure. It is like advertisement suspense account, preliminary expenses, etc. These are the deferred revenue expenditure. So it needs to be written off as soon as possible. So it is also transferred to partners capital account, being losses are shared by old partner in old profit sharing ratio. Let's understand it with the help of an example. A and B are partners in a firm sharing profits and losses in the ratio 5:3. C was admitted for one-third share in profits. On the date of C's admission, the balance sheet of A and B showed journal reserve of rupees 60,000 and a balance of rupees 20,000 in the profit and loss account on the asset side of the balance sheet. Here we have to understand that profit and loss account is shown on the asset side. It means it is a loss. So past necessary journal entries on C's admission. First journal entry is journal reserve account debit with 60,000 to A's capital account to B's capital account. Now journal reserve is shown on the liability side. Liabilities rule is credit. So whenever it is transferred, they are debited. Journal reserve is now debited. It is transferred to A's capital and B's capital in old profit sharing ratio, that is uh, 5:3. Now 60,000 is divided into 5:3. So A's capital is credited with 37,500, B's capital is credited with 22,500. Being journal reserve divided between old partners in old profit sharing ratio. Now there is a loss. A's capital account debit, B's capital account debit to profit and loss account. Now profit and loss account, it is shown on the asset side of the balance sheet. So assets are, the rule for the assets are debit. So whenever they are transferred to anybody, it should be credited. That is why profit and loss account, here loss is credited. So A's capital account debited with 12,500, B's capital account is debited with 7,500, profit and loss account is credited with 20,000, being loss distributed between all partners in all profit sharing ratio. So here is the accounting treatment of workman compensation reserve and investment fluctuation reserve. Number one is when there is no claim against workman compensation reserve or investment fluctuation reserve. It means when the investment's value is not going to be changed. So the journal entry is workman compensation reserve account debit to partners capital or current account. If in case of investment, then investment fluctuation reserve account debit to partners capital or current account. So I have written here workman compensation reserve and investment fluctuation reserve. Whatever the question will be asked to you, you have to use according to the, whether it is if the question is related to the investments, then you have to use investment fluctuation reserve. When it is a workman compensation, then workman compensation. So I have written this because the accounting treatment of both investment fluctuation reserve and compensation reserves are similar. So next case, when claim for workman compensation exists. Let's see. Here we will see the treatment. like workman compensation claim is equals to the amount of workman compensation reserve. In that situation, the journal entry would be workman compensation reserve to workman compensation claim. Here the claims amount is equals to the compensation reserve. Let's say the reserve is 10,000 and the claim is also 10,000. In that case, the journal entry will be workman compensation reserve to workman compensation claim. And this is same for the investment fluctuation also. If the amount of investment fluctuation reserve is equals to the amount of investments, then the journal entry is investment fluctuation reserve account debit to investments account, being workman compensation uh, claim adjusted, or being investment fluctuation reserve adjusted. So this is the case. All the cases are same. That is why uh, we have used in one entry we are using both the cases for investment fluctuation and workman compensation reserve. Next, when claim for workman compensation exists, here the second one is workman compensation claim is less than the amount of workman compensation reserve. In case your workman compensation claim is 10,000 and the reserve is 7,000, in that situation what would be the entry? Workman compensation reserve account debit to workman compensation claim, that is 7,000, to partners capital or current account, that is 3,000. We have taken example, if there is a claim of 7,000 and workman compensation reserve is 10,000, the difference is 3,000, will be divided in partners in old profit sharing ratio. Is it clear? Being workman compensation claim adjusted and surplus workman compensation reserve transferred to partners capital or current account in their old profit sharing ratio. It must be remembered that it should be in old profit sharing ratio. Number three is workman compensation claim is more than the amount of workman compensation reserve. A workman compensation claim is more. Now we have a reserve of, let's take an example, we have reserve of 10,000 and workman compensation claim is 15,000. Now 5,000 extra amount. That is a loss for the organization. So the journal entry would be workman compensation reserve account debit, that is 10,000. Revaluation account debit. Now why revaluation we have taken? Because other name of revaluation account is profit and loss adjustment account, and it is shown on the debit side. It means it is signifying uh, loss, that is the difference between the claim and reserve is 5,000, so we will write 5,000. To workman compensation claim, claim is a liability, that is why it is written on the credit side. To workman compensation claim is 15,000. If we see that workman compensation reserve was 10,000, revaluation account 5,000, and workman compensation claim is 15,000, so the entry is balanced. So we have seen all the three cases for workman compensation and for investment fluctuation reserve. The treatment for investment fluctuation reserve and workman compensation reserve is similar. Z are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 4 is to 3 is to 2. They admit A for 1/4 share in future profits of the firm with effect from 1st April 2020. An extract of the balance sheet as at 31st March 2020 is here below. On the liability side, workmen compensation reserve 90,000. Show the accounting treatment under each of the following alternative cases. Case number 1, when no information as to claim is given. Case number 2, when claim on account of workmen compensation is rupees 45,000. Case number 3, when claim on account of workmen compensation is rupees 99,000. Case number 4, when claim on account of workmen compensation is 90,000. In first case, when we have 90,000 workmen compensation reserve, workmen compensation reserve account debit to A's capital, to B's capital, to C's capital account. 90,000 is divided into 4-3-2 ratio, so 40,000, 30,000 and 20,000, being workmen compensation reserve transferred to partners capital account in old profit sharing ratio. This is case number 1 we have already discussed in the previous slide. Now case number 2, Workmen compensation reserve is 90,000 and claim is 45,000. Here the reserve is greater than claim, so leftover amount is distributed among the partners because all the reserves are created out of profit and profit belongs to the partners. So workmen compensation reserve account is debited 90,000 to workmen compensation claim 45,000 to A's capital account 20,000 to B's capital account 15,000 to C's capital account 10,000. So being surplus workmen compensation reserve transferred to partners capital account in old profit sharing ratio. Now, case number 3. Here the workmen compensation reserve is smaller than workmen's compensation claim. The reserve is 90,000 and claim is 99,000. There is a difference of 9,000 which is a loss, and loss is transferred to revaluation account. So the journal entry is workmen compensation reserve account debit 90,000, revaluation account debit 9,000 to workmen compensation claim 99,000. Narration is being workmen compensation shortfall debited to revaluation account. Case number 4. Workmen here the workmen compensation reserve and claim is equal amount. So the journal entry is workmen compensation reserve account debit to workmen compensation claim 90,000. So being workmen compensation is accounted.